Yeah, got some Les Brown for you this morning. That was a little Les Brown for you this Monday morning. A lot of this a lot of this stuff ladies and gentlemen. The question is, are we doing what we know? Remember, knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. That's what's powerful about this. So there are a lot of things that you might have heard that but now we got to put that into action. If we want to go off and design our ideal life, we want to continue to build the capacity we need to handle the life that we're asking for. Guess what? We got to go do some of these things. How's your level of self motivation? Ask yourself these questions as you get your day started. How's your level of self motivation? Are you motivated? Are you motivated internally, or do you wait for external motivation? Do you wait for someone or something or the mood to strike right or the moon to be in the right place or whatever needs to happen in order for you to get things rolling? Or are you self-motivated? Can you tap into that area that you have that desire for something that you want, for something that you want to achieve, for the way you want to be? Do you have that internal motivation? If not, we got to start working on it. Who motivates the motivator, right? Eventually you're going to have to learn how to pull from that well inside of you to be motivated. Something I wrote down later is, right, having energy and passion. That's why we need the motivation. I tell y'all this all the time, right? It takes energy to go after your dreams. It takes energy to go after your goals and dreams, the life that you want, the vision that you have. It's going to take energy. So if we don't know how to motivate to get ourselves going, and on top of that, maybe we have some health things that are not giving us the energy. We do things. I think I shared this with you guys a few months ago, the difference between the energy takers and the energy givers in life, the things that are taking your energy away that you might not even be aware of, that's slowly draining your energy versus the things that are giving you energy every day, that are refilling that cup, that are pouring into that bucket. And how much are we doing that part, right? The things that are giving us energy versus the things that are taking our energy away. Because it's going to require energy to go after our dreams. It's going to require passion. It's going to require motivation. It's going to require all those things. That's why you got to start applying this type of stuff. How's your mental attitude? Questions you got to ask yourself on this Monday morning. How's your mental attitude coming into today? How positive are you? How optimistic are you? How tapped in are you on your vision? How's your mental attitude in this area? Do you know the things that you need to do and think about and consume in order to motivate and inspire yourself? Again, this is just an hour and a half a week, 30 minutes, 3 days out of the week. But throughout the rest of the time, when I'm not with you, when you're not hearing these words from me, in this way, right? I know I might still be in the back of your mind somewhere on a Saturday randomly, right? But again, if you're not hearing it in these ways all the time, what are you doing to motivate yourself? What are the keys to you motivating you? What is it that you need? You have to know that for yourself because Les Brown in there talked about self-mastery. Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? The top need for every human being is self-mastery, to know oneself, to know why you operate the way you operate, to know why you tick the way that you tick, to know all of your programmings, all of your ways, and then changing them to get to the best, highest, grandest expression of yourself. Awareness is the first step to changing. So once you're aware of how I think this way, why I act this way, why I feel this way, all those things, then your higher self is now I need to change those things. Now I need to actively put in boundaries, put in, right, things that are tools, resources that are going to help me change to the next version of myself. That's self mastery. That's this never ending journey of growing oneself. As long as God has given you breath, He's not done with you, with your growth. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, we're put here to grow. If we're not growing, we're dying. If you're not growing in your health, you're slowly dying. If you're not growing in your financial life, you're slowly dying. If you're not growing in your relationships are slowly dying. Nothing stays stagnant. So these are reminders that we got to constantly remind ourselves of, like, man, where am I in these areas? Am I motivated? Am I inspired? Do I have these keys to motivation? Am I focused on self mastery? I wrote down, how do you get out of a rut? Do you know how you get out of a rut? Everybody operates differently. But do you know, can you identify when you get in a rut? Can you identify why you got in the rut? Can you identify how long you've been in it? And can you identify how to get out of it? Self mastery, like knowing you. I would give this example, but like I told you, I've been just a little bit further ahead on this personal development journey for some time. I remember at the early days of starting this stuff 10 years ago, I would also get into depressive states. I think we all get to some form of a depressive state here and there. I've gotten into forms of depressive states. And back in the day, it would take me months to get out. Now I may feel the same thing and it might take me a day or two, right? I've shortened that time through my own personal growth, personal development, knowing myself, learning how a rut starts. What thoughts did I have to have? What thoughts are not true that I can take into captivity or throw away, right? What thoughts are not serving me that got me into this emotional place? Now I can catch that very quickly. Ooh, it was that thought. All right. I got to talk to myself better. I got to think about this differently. I got to give myself a new perspective. I got to journal this thing out. I got to get this out. And then boom, I'm right back. Do you know how to do that for yourself? Because it's going to be crucial in you getting to the life that you don't need a break from. Where are you settling? I wrote that down as a question. These are all questions for you this morning on this Monday so that you can start to, again, reflect on your life and become more aware of what's happening. If you change your thinking, you change your life. So we have to become aware of what's happening in our brain. Sometimes you need mentors, you need people to see your blind spots, to say, "Hey, I don't know if you see that, but that's a blind spot. I know you think the way you've been thinking and you think that that's correct, but that's not necessarily to get you to the life that you want. You might need someone to see that blind spot." So are you aware of some of your blind spots? Are you getting awareness around where you need to change, where you need more mastery in your life? Where are you settling? Where are you settling? Where are you settling in your financial life? Where are you settling in your business life? Where are you settling in your relationships? Where has there been something where you just have chosen not to challenge it for sake of ease, for sake of comfort, not disrupting your life, not disrupting the status quo, not upsetting the person, not whatever. You've settled in an area. What area is that for you? What areas could that be? And what do we need to do to change that? What do we need to do to say, I'm no longer settling in this area? I'm no longer settling in my relationships. I'm no longer settling in my financial life. What do we need to do in order to do that? These are things to focus on. These are things to focus on. Last thing I wrote down was, what are you saying to yourself? Questions for you this Monday. What are you saying to yourself? What's the talk track? What's the story that you're playing in your mind about whatever, about your health life, about your spiritual life, about your relationships or lack of, about your financial life or lack of? What story are you telling yourself? What conversation are you having that's holding you back? Are you, like Les Brown said in there, 85% of our thoughts, typically that talk track that you have is going to be negative. So are you succumbing to that? Or are you doing what you know you need to do? Or are you just listening to yourself? Shad Helmstetter has a great book, What You Say When You Talk to Yourself. And in that book, he says we got to learn how to talk to ourselves instead of just listening to ourselves. You have to learn how to talk to yourself. You have to learn how to reprogram, rewire. That natural thought that you might have is not necessarily the thought that's going to get you to the life you want. It's not necessarily the thought that's going to help you build to the man or woman God called you to be. That thought is not necessarily helping you get there. It's helping you stay safe. It might be helping you be comfortable. It might be helping you stay exactly where you are, around the same people, around the environment, all that stuff. But it might not be helping you get to the life that you actually desire. But how much are you programming yourself to get to the life that you actually desire? How much are you reading your goals every day? How much are you writing down your vision and reading it so that that is a new programming in your mind? How much of that are you doing? Because these are all the things that are going to help you get to that life. The chapter I chose in 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class is the world class is committed to personal development. All of this stuff being said, Les Brown, one of the best motivational speakers known that we've ever encountered, again, him coming in and talking about some of these areas of personal growth, of personal development, of self-mastery, all of those things, incredibly important, right? Incredibly important to you getting to the life that you want. Here's what it says in the text. It says average performers wouldn't read a personal development book or listen to a personal development recording if you paid them. Only about 5% of the population study personal development, or exact estimate of the percentage of professional performers in this country. Interesting, isn't it? The masses seem to view personal development as motivational nonsense. Of course, most of these people are struggling to make ends meet. In contrast, many world-class people and those who aspire to world-class levels are believers in the personal development movement. You don't have to convince a champion to want to win. Personal development, by definition, is about discovering the unique talents and abilities and potentials that lie dormant within us. Say that one more time. Personal development, by definition, is about discovering the unique talents, abilities, and potentials that lie dormant within us. The great ones are always looking for that one little adjustment, strategy, distinction, or technique that will give them an edge over the competition. And that's exactly what personal development offers. As Bill Gove was famous for saying, all of us already have everything we need inside of us to make our lives work. Personal development is not about self-improvement, it's about self-discovery. It's about rediscovering what we already know. So the reason why the world class is committed to personal development is because we're committed to learning what are these abilities, what are these talents that are lying dormant that I just haven't pulled out, that have been programmed away, that I have some limiting beliefs around, that my environment, I'm the average of the five people I've spent the most time with. So just because I've been in this environment, I've been around these people, I've listened to this type of talk, it doesn't mean that's me. That's just what I've been programmed to. That's just what I've been comfortable with. That's just my comfort zone. That's just the environment. So by growing, by personally developing, by committing yourself to personal development, listening to audios, listening to audio books, listening to podcasts, listening to things that are going to help your mind, reading. There is power in reading. I know there's so many people that are like, I don't like reading or I can't sit. That's an issue. Just be honest with you. That is a issue. Like you have to get through that. That's one of the best ways the brain knows how to, right, how to learn. It's through reading, not just listening and watching things all the time. We have to be able to do that. So you have to be able to sit down and take in some books, take in some material, spend time with yourself, take 30 minutes and read something because this is how you're going to develop the life that you want. This is how you're going to become the man or woman that is able to handle the life that you're asking for. Again, it's not just about self-improvement, even if we talk about it in that way. It's really about discovering you. You know how many people tell me, I want to find my purpose. I don't know my purpose. Well, that's because you don't know you. You can't find your purpose if you don't know you. If you don't know what you're good at, if you don't know what you like doing, if you don't know where your talents lie, if you don't know, like just because you've done something for a long time doesn't mean that that's what you were put here to do. Just because you've conditioned yourself to think a certain way or be around a certain people doesn't mean that that's what you were called to do. But you have to take time to learn you. Our world will come to distract you. Your life comes to distract you. The enemy comes to distract you and take you completely away from who God called you to be. So you got to remember some of these things. You got to remember some of these questions that we asked this morning. You got to start pondering some of this stuff. And you got to commit to your personal growth, personal development. You should be reading, right? 2, 3, 4 books a month. Yeah, you have the time. You have the time. I know you do. It goes to other things. It goes to the other things that numb our mind. It goes to the other things that, right, make us more passive or more comfortable or those things. But you have time to read a few books a month. You do. How would that look in a year? How will that look in 2 years? How will that look in 5 years if that becomes how you're operating? This is the commitment, right? The reason why this book, 177 Mental Toughness Secrets, exists is because there's only a few things that we got to do. There's not lots of things. There's a few things that you just got to get really good at. Self mastery is one of those things. Personal development is one of those things. Growing in these areas is one of those things. You just got to learn to do. I know, easier said than done. Easier said than done. I'm never telling you any of this stuff is easy. It's just going to be worth it. I'm only talking to the people that want to go off and design their ideal life. You have a vision for the life you want to live and what you want your family to see and all the things. You have a reason that you want to do this. So now we got to get to work. Now we got to get to work. Here's what it says, the action step for today. It says make a commitment to attend 2 seminars or workshops in the next 12 months for your own personal growth and development. Set a goal to listen to one of your favorite nonfiction authors or speakers every day when you're in your car. Set up another goal to read one positive or inspirational book a month for the next 12 months. Map out a personal development plan of action, and you'll be amazed at the results. Mapping out this plan of action. Make a commitment to invest in your personal development. Make a commitment to invest in yourself. Before it's funny because like this is we hear this in like the financial world, but somebody said this to me also, same thing. I was going to get a new set of golf clubs or get my golf clubs like redone, and it was going to run me like, I don't know, $2,000, like $1,800. It was a bunch. And the clubs I was going to turn in, they were going to give me like $1,100 for it. And so the guy that was helping me said something along the lines of, "Hey, instead of right," because I told him I was kind of new at golf. I'm okay, right? But I'm still relatively new. And he was like, "Hey, instead of spending that 1,100 or whatever on golf clubs, you should probably put that 1,100 into lessons for yourself." So that you get better. Because I can give you a great set of golf clubs, but if you're not good, it doesn't matter like what the golf clubs do. So he was like, you should probably invest that back in yourself. And I was like, oh, thanks for that. Same thing I tell people on the financial side when they come to me, hey, Chris, I got $3,000. I want to invest it and turn it into 20 million, right? They always have some crazy number. They're trying to take a small amount and turn it into a bunch. And I'm like, hey, that's great. I'm glad you have that. Here's the place you probably should invest. You probably should invest it in your personal development. We only make money to the level of our identity, to the way that we grow. So just even in your question, I know your identity is not there financially. So we probably want to put some money into that so that you can learn and grow. Your identity goes up. So the next time you get money, like you'll understand what to do with it. It's the same exact thing, y'all. You got to be committed to investing in yourself, in your own personal growth by either going to workshops, webinars, listening to good things, podcasts, those things, reading good books, getting around good people. This is the work. This is the work, ladies and gentlemen. All never said it was going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. If you want to go off and design your ideal life, you want to get to the life you don't need a break from, you got to start building the capacity to handle that by doing some of these things. All right. I love you guys. I want you to win. You deserve it. Your families deserve it. If nobody tells you, I'll constantly tell you because you got to play that in your mind. That has to be a way that you talk to yourself. I deserve to win. My family is counting on me to win. That's right. So every time you get in those down moments, every time you get in a little bit of a rut, guess what? That's something that I'm programming you with. Surprise. No, I'm joking. But for real, I'm programming you to think about these things, to believe that you deserve to win. You should say it over and over to yourself. I deserve to win. My family deserves to win. They're counting on me to win. If you say that to yourself over and over, just like I say it to you, eventually you'll believe it. And then you'll change your actions and you'll change your habits because you know you deserve to win. You know it's just going to take a little bit of work. So go out, do something that pushes you out of your comfort zone today. Do something that scares you, that your future self is going to thank you for. We'll be back here on Wednesday. Love you guys. Take care.